The Bantrall system is not at war. Bantrall was never, until recently, a wealthy colony. The planet had resources enough just to maintain its own small society, but none worth exporting. There was never any need for the corporate sponsors of its initial colonization to interfere with its administration. In the halls of Solar Union commerce, land shares on Bantril traded for nothing, no cost, no gain. You might throw all of my land shares on Bantrol into a golf wager as a joke, or give them as a prank to gift to a friend. Recently, though, there was a minor development in an obscure biochemical processing technology. The novel features of Bantrol's ecosystem went from being a scientific curiosity to being an untapped and unknowably deep wellspring of wealth. Land shares on Bantrol were no longer an ignored asterisk on anyone's balance sheet. The handover of administration and power from the descendants of Bantrol's original Terran colonists to the newly interested legal right holders, the self-proclaimed landowners, has been cheerful, orderly, and mutually profitable. There have been a few isolated spats, of course, but there's been practically no protracted, bitter, bloody war of resistance between the displaced old Bantrust aristocracy and the off-world landowners. When a landowner uses the threat of violence to force a hereditary great family to give up their land, keep them on as guides and entertainers, it's cheerful. And when they offer them in exchange a negligible sum, it's mutually profitable. And when fiery companies of Bantress irregulars respond by raiding their holdings and seizing arms and materials against future battles, and local insurrections take advantage of the upset by forcibly occupying biochemical processing plants, and the landowners respond with ruthless crackdown and martial law, these are a few isolated spats. To admit otherwise would be to invite an intervention of the Terran Transit Authority's mediation and peacekeeping forces. Then no one would get rich from Bantrol but the TTA.
So we fade on a pair of shoes, a pair of very stylish, polished shoes. They're we just hear the footsteps at first, just the click of the heel of a very polished shoe as a man walks through a terminal, probably like a bullet train style terminal. And in the background we can hear, at first it sounds like a news broadcast, but as the frame comes into focus, we can see it's actually an interview on a daytime television talk show. And we don't ever focus on the man's shoes anymore. We don't focus on the man, even though it's the same man who's in the interview. And he's having a conversation with a very bubbly woman. She's asking him all sorts of inane things about his latest album, his upcoming charity concert, how it's been hosted by a particular off-worlder corporation. But he manages the questions pretty well. He's talking about how he likes to give back to the community, how the people of Bantril are so important to him, how he wants to do what he can to make the lives of people better who aren't as lucky as he is. And then there's a bit of a scuffle, and the host quickly um, tries to cut the cameras, but we still see someone in the audience stand up and do this. And we pull back from the broadcast and we see other clenched fists in the crowd.
Now, after that, the darkness of the fists changes into the darkness of a nightclub, lit with colors of purple and teal and sometimes bright golds. We are in the heart of Skyphos and Skyphos's night scene, and there are tables which separate into these concentric circles and wind around and can hold the weight of they do hold the weights of like martini glasses and champagne flutes, wine glasses, plates with entrees on them, appetizers. But then we see a woman with messy hair and a gas mask over her face, sitting with her ostensible family members, maybe about 6 of them, and she can be heard over all of them as she says, "Oh, I believe the mining procedures to be wasteful is the word. I think it would be much more profitable for all of us if we were to tell these landowners that our current rate of production is unsustainable and we must decrease their supply. And with decreased supply comes higher rates." How many times have your last names been mispronounced? I know mine have been mispronounced plenty by these landowners, and I think to show them our appreciation, we are going to stop being middle-class citizens and return to the nobility that we once were. And she walks over, making grand gestures. She walks up a set of stairs that are just 2 stairs. And she goes to the window and sees an entire expansive panoramic underwater scene of glass sea scrapers with labor mecha that are delivering God knows what, anything, maintaining the infrastructure of this underwater city that is almost upside down from the surface. We fade to white.
Yeah, there's white. Well, white is kind of flickering. It's a fluorescent light bulb, giving this bright, sterile illumination to a very crowded room full of people working. This is a meal house for a company that finds it cheaper to pay its employees in housing and food than in actual currency. And then we kind of see a shot, like we just have like short animated segments like linked together. You see this androgynous like tomboyish girl in a dark blue clothing and an apron labeling out slop to a line of people that are there to eat. Then we see a shot of her walking down a claustrophobic hallway, very dirty, scattered with like newspaper and trash. And then we see her holding up a key card from the master chef of this building, and she swipes it in a doorway and walks into this like trash compactor that's filled with garbage, and she's picking up various odds and ends, looking at them, finds a flower that has had its pot shattered. And so next time we see her, she's got the flower and some of the dirt wrapped up in a plastic bag in like this backpack that's filled with trash she's collected. And then we see that someone's been following her with a knife. As she turns around and backs up to the door, and he threatens her and says, "Give me that key card. I'll cut your throat." And Bryn reaches under her shirt and fiddles with something and just pops out of existence. And a few seconds later, the man holding the knife also pops out of existence.
The
Moving on.
camera pulls away from the alley and goes outside, where outside's not really the right word because it's actually underground, or underwater, I should say. The area is like an atrium, but with a side completely open to the seascape, as we saw earlier with Sash. But there's a walkway that runs alongside it, and you can see that actually this is like a huge window that goes up multiple stories, and we're inside of a mall. And the mall is crowded, but the camera focuses on one woman wearing what you might otherwise call a sundress, looking somewhat lost as she tries to navigate the unfamiliar mass of humanity that is this mall. And at one point, while she's distractedly looking at like a "You Are Here" sign, she bumps into another woman, and as she's mousishly apologizing, the other woman says, "No, it's all right. I'll show you where you're going," and actually leads her to her destination in the mall. And so the short-haired, oddly dressed woman she blushes slightly and is shyly looking down when she says, "You didn't have to do this for me." And the other woman just shakes her head. And so then we leave Silver shopping for more appropriate clothing for the life on Skyphos. Yes.
Cool.
Amazing.
Well, let's go into our first game. And I always like to start with a dance. So we're doing a dance.
I love
Dance,
a
dance,
dance.
dance, dance, dance.
So to start, you pick one person who is definitely going to be there.
Sash.
All right.
Yep.
And then what's the next step? I believe it is describe where we are.
Ask your chosen partner how you two came to be dancing together.
Ah, yes.
So Sash, I can ask you. I have an idea, but I think you also have a similar idea because we may have talked about this.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we talked about this specific question, but how I think we came to be dancing together is I'm the MC and you're the star.
Yeah,
So
we did a little bit.
have to dance.
Yeah,
You have to
absolutely.
round the crowd with this concert.
Other players can join freely if it makes sense for their characters to also be present at the dance / charity concert / benefit.
I think that Silver would in fact be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bryn's doing the catering.
I was wondering when we saw you in the kitchen.
Yeah. So you see her like maybe at the fancy, the fancy food table, like with a pair of like steak grabbers and putting the steak on rich patrons' plates.
Sure.
And we'll see Silver in looking rather uncomfortable, sitting completely alone in like a box seat that's reserved for the company that she has been sent to represent, which is oh gosh, I named it
Peak Zenith.
Peak Zenith, yes. Thank you. Peak
I remembered it because it was so good.
Right, exactly. I was like, it was so good. How could I have forgotten?
The top isn't high enough.
Yes, the top is not high enough. So in this box, and it's got the Peak Zenith logo across the front of it, and she's just sitting there completely alone, and there's like room for like a dozen more people in this secluded box that's, private for the concert, at least this portion of it. And she's completely changed her outfit now that she went shopping, and is in a like a business suit / wetsuit kind of look, which is very common around Skyphos. So it's got the folded lapels, but it looks kind of slick or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what do we notice about each other? What have you heard? I'm asking you, Sash, since we haven't really talked too much about our characters and what's going on with them.
You have noticed.
How many times have we worked together? Let me start there.
I want to say
I want to say a few times at least.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we know each other.
Yeah. I feel like I've emceed for other concerts, and maybe you've gone to a mech sporting event where
Sure.
I was also emceeing for that. Also, I'm kind of just like generally known a little bit because I spread my wings across like a couple of different gigs.
Sure.
You've been noticing that I haven't been doing as many gigs lately.
Okay. As far as me, I am gonna describe Ray real quick because I did some cool art for him. He goes by he, them, so them or him, either one is fine. He has sort of like jaw length hair, but just on one side. He's kind of got a style like mine. Like I did this on purpose. But yeah, he's got like the jaw length hair kind of swept all to one side, and then it's just like almost buzzed on the other side. Purple with like teal, magenta, and yellow highlights in there. And he wears a lot of eye makeup. So and he's got a bit of a 5 o'clock shadow. He's just kind of got like a cool but slightly queer, like not totally masculine look. Like he blends the lines as musicians and artists tend to do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's wearing like all black, but he probably has like strategic placed like rhinestones or like studs or whatever on his outfit, and very like polished, like bright blue shoes. Yeah, like very bright blue.
Very good.
What you have I think you haven't really noticed anything new about him from his usual. He's doing the same. So like you just know that he's He does a lot of concerts, but he does like a lot of charity work too. And so you just know that he's really passionate about charity. Maybe though you may have noticed that he started getting some heat on his personal vlog that he puts out, where
Mhm.
he's been getting a little bit political and he's been getting a little bit um critical of the landowners sort of reaping all those resources, and it doesn't ever come back to the people who are kind of getting crushed under those boot heels. So
Mhm. I kind of expect that that's because I've been noticing that you've been doing this thing in your career where you're kind of hitting this like huge spike point, and
mhm,
you've held really steady for, I want to say, like the past year or so.
sure.
So now you have like the freedom
Yeah.
to say these sorts of things to
Yeah,
people.
because it's like now I'm getting complacent with my fame, and so I'm starting to get a little bit more vocal about things that I might have otherwise been told by my handlers to be like, okay, don't say that, don't you put a trit out about that, don't do it. And now I'm just like, you know what, I'm do what I want. I'm like mega popular.
Yeah, exactly.
um, who's the worst dancer?
Not me. I'm good.
But
Out of
I'm
all of us?
no, but here's the thing. In this pairing between us, who is the worst dancer?
Oh, ooh,
Because
that's an interesting question.
I know.
I
'Cause
want to
the
say
worst
it's you.
really interesting.
Mm.
Okay. Then I guess I'll go first.
Well, actually, it depends. What kind of music do you do?
Um, rock. It's like I'm a rock star. I'm not like a pop star. There's probably some grunge influences in there, but also definitely like it's like a weird mix of like glam and grunge.
Ooh. See. I think I just have more freedom to dance in this situation because I just have the microphone that's attached to my face.
Well, I've also got a microphone because you're introducing me and I come out singing, so
That's
I
true.
don't know. And I'm trained for this. I have trained literally for this day.
That's true.
I'm a stage performer, so. Anyway, I'll go first. I'll say that you
Okay.
are the better dancer because I'm more known for my music, but I can still dance. I'm just not
Mhm.
quite as good as you.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Sure.
You forgot your backup singers.
Yeah, it just says who's the better dancer. It doesn't say or like who's
One
the worst
sucks, yeah.
dancer. Who's the worst dancer could be like uh the best dancer and the second best dancer.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I only do freestyle. This like organized dance thing, man.
So I think the way this plays out is we see Sash on the microphone doing the hype, getting the crowd going, and introducing Ray, and Ray just like power walks out to thunderous applause, and he opens with a song, and the crowd is going wild, and this moment of the dance allows me to step close to you and linger very near. Am I welcome?
Of course.
Well, then I do that. I think we see Sash like doing her thing. I don't know what that is, so you'll describe that in a bit, I'm sure. But we see Ray just get very close. I don't touch you because I'm all about that consent, but I do get very close to you, and there's a lot of screaming from the crowd.
Hmm. Um, I think I pull you in for like a side hug sort of thing because this is a concert.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, what I do for this concert is I think before you come out, everybody's like kind of cheering already. Maybe a little bit because of me, but I
Sure.
tell them all to like quiet down, and I have to say that like a couple of times. And I like build up this suspense where I'm just staring into the crowd with like this look on my face. Everyone close your eyes. Get ready. If you have a bow in your culture, do it right now. Don't open your eyes until I tell you to. And I think the drummer has already come on stage,
Okay.
and the drums have started to come in. And there's just like a minute of suspense. Bow to your Lord, Lord Ray. And I think they see us right next to each other, and you are starting on lyrics.
Okay.
And then it is my turn
Mhm.
to ask a question in this dance. I think you have to rejoin your band, so the dance's figures separate us. When they bring us back together again, do you blush?
Hmm. No, because it's not like I wasn't expecting to come back to you. I think maybe it would have been more likely if you had surprised me or if I didn't expect it. But I
Mhm.
think when it brings us back together in this sense, it's me seeking you out.
Yeah.
But there's a twinkle in my eye. Like I'm not just doing this for show. I'm enjoying myself.
It also says in here, if other players have joined the dance, you each get to ask 2 questions in total, choosing which dancing partner for each question.
Yeah, so I think now that we've gone back and forth,
Yeah.
let's see what Silver and Bren are doing.
Okay. I think this scene takes place like after the concert. Since this is like a charity concert, afterwards there is like this like VIP dinner type of thing. And probably a silent auction going on in the background. Actually, definitely a silent auction going on in the background. Yeah. And so I think I think that we see Silver once again in her wetsuit business suit, sitting at a table, completely alone, in a much larger table. It looks like there are like placards around that there were supposed to be other people here, but she's the only one that's actually there. And I think that that's where we see Bryn across the room, as a caterer, and something about me catches your eye and your look lingers. What is it?
I think you have a ring that's like an insignia of your house crest.
Well, I'm not the house. I'm a landowner.
I know, but like,
like sure.
like maybe some kind of heraldry.
Okay.
I mean, you're a landowner, right? So you don't have like the Bantraphyll way.
What if it's a ring that is also like the projector for my personal computer?
Yeah, sure.
Like a hologram will come out of it. And it's probably got the the peak how did I lose this again?
Peak Zenith.
Oh, it's a hologram,
yes.
like
Peak Zenith.
color themed
There's
with
like a
your
Peak Zenith logo on it, like PZ takes up like
Okay.
a huge amount of this ring. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, that's not very threatening, fortunately.
You want to fix that?
No, because right now, Bryn is seeing this and it's like, because she's worried that she's drawing too much attention. Right now, like, there was this Bantraphyll noble that decided just to cause a scene and like tilted his plate and made the food fall down and make a mess, and now is blaming it on Bryn. And he's making Bryn like wash his shoes with a hand cloth. Something about me catches your eye though, even though I'm hoping it doesn't. What is it?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think it's something about your manners that gives away that you're from off-world. Something about the way you take a knee to lean down and clean these shoes. Like, I suddenly recognize it as being that you move like someone who grew up in space, you know?
Okay. Cool.
And it's just enough for me to... Silver gets like just this pang of homesickness as she's sitting there awkwardly alone throughout dinner, having had to go shopping to have appropriate clothing for this location, and just that moment of seeing someone else who is not from this planet really just like resonates with her for a moment.
Cool. Curses.
So, Astani.
Yeah,
Then
I'm
Ray.
looking at this setup, and I can't remember. Like, when we declare our dance partners, is that it for the dance? Or do we switch them around, or how does
So
that
you
work?
can switch them around. You can switch them around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get one more question, but it does not have to be to Sash.
Oh, okay. Now I have to decide if I want to ask you to Sash or not, because I kind of do, and I kind of also want to meet somebody else.
But
If
then,
it helps make your decision for you, I will definitely not be asking you a question back if you ask me one.
Okay.
I want to get some food.
Well, I kind of want to see Silver, so
okay.
I think it's not long after this scene of you and Bryn exchanging meaningful looks, but hoping to God that you don't get caught or whatever. And,
That's exactly what happened.
Suddenly, Ray just sits down right next to you. In the placard does not say Ray. It says, I don't know, Jupiter. And I just kind of flip it down like I would do with a photo.
Okay.
And I lean close to you and I say, now what is a pretty girl like you sitting all alone here like this? And where is it? My face is close to yours. Do you turn subtly toward me or subtly away?
Subtly towards. As you lean close and whisper this question, she turns her head just slightly and looks up into your eye sideways and simply responds, I'm here on business.
My eyes turn down to your ring. Peak Zenith. Yes, you're helping to sponsor this event, as I take it?
That's right. So far, I've seen that the revenue that we're generating is actually going to be readily increased by the positive press that we're getting from sponsoring this event. And honestly, seeing the turnout of so many benefactors to the charities has been very fascinating. I've taken down quite a list of... And then she suddenly stops talking.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention at all. I think like there's just kind of like that 1,000-yard stare of like, I don't know what any of this means. I'm just in it for the music. And I think I'm just kind of like looking at all these empty seats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would like to ask you a question back.
Okay.
Yeah. At this moment in the dance, you may place your hand upon my elbow, my shoulder, my waist, or my hip. Which do you choose?
I've only just met you. How forward would this guy be?
She's still, like, after she stopped and you weren't paying attention, she goes back to rambling about finance and bookkeeping and...
I think as she's rambling, I reach forward and I grab your elbow just to kind of like shock you out of your ramble.
Yes, sorry.
Babe, this is a party. Go have fun. Don't just sit here thinking about business all night. It's not like anyone else is going to see it and judge you. And I gesture to the empty tables. Go live a little.
I guess you're right. And it's Silver, not Babe.
I just wink.
Okay, that's
finger cut.
That's perfect.
I think it's an excellent spot for Sash to come in, but we don't cut. Sash just comes in, bang, and through the loudspeakers on the gas mask, where are the caterers? And with that, I'm going to ask a question. To Bryn, something about me catches your eye and your look lingers. What is it?
It's the best question.
Do you have like a musical instrument?
No, just the
Okay.
speakers on my face. I can make music come through though.
I think I see that you have like plugs in your arm for jacking into combat fighting robots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
Oh man, I definitely retroactively want to say that you could totally see the jacks in Silver's arms and legs earlier when she was wearing a sundress before she changed into her business suit. That's actually a fantastic touch I'm stealing.
I'm into it. It's Bryn's turn.
You can't see Bryn's because they're covered with tiny band-aids.
Fantastic.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Okay, Golden.
I will ask... Oh, I am becoming a robot, which is extremely bad in this setting, as I understand. I want to ask... Yeah. Ray's revolutionary, right? Yeah, I want to ask Ray, like, when the dance ends,
Okay.
do you try and spread your evolutionary zeal to Bryn, who's just had a bad time, or not? Or do you stay away?
Kind of. I think I would definitely talk to you like you were a normal human. I wouldn't like look down on you or anything. And I would definitely, like, if you were like getting looked down upon by others, like other like if landowners just were like, hey, you're the help, go get me stuff, or if nobles were like, hey, you're a serf, go get me stuff.
Yeah, I think she's actually probably escorted out by the police at the end.
Oh gosh, well I think before that happens, um I would have definitely like treated you like a fellow human and kind of given you ideas like, you don't have to do this. Um
So
you don't
I'm
have to
busy
let people
polishing shoes.
yeah, you don't have to let
And
people
they're
treat you
dropping
like
food on
this.
me.
You probably don't make enough for this to be worth it. So I don't take it to the point of revolution, but I definitely like try to instill the idea that you are worth more than all this shit you are being treated with right now. And I guess why would you be escorted out by the police at the end?
Because the nobles are making it out that I'm deliberately making a mess and soiling their clothes.
Then if that happened, I would probably like literally go and talk to the police and be like, that's not true. She's just doing her job. Don't arrest this girl. Like I would have your back. Even though I didn't know you or anything. Like
All
to
right.
me, I don't real like I guess even if I had realized you were an off-worlder or not, like people like treat people with decency is kind of the idea that you get from me and how I handle that. So I would
Cool.
probably try to convince the police to not arrest you. And probably be successful because I got a lot of influence and they wouldn't want me to be like, hey, there's this girl and we arrested her and now like the internet hates us.
Yeah, so Britain's probably like very thankful about that. Um, yeah, but she's also like acting very shy and like shrinking in on herself, and it's just like quiet thank you,
Sure.
and tries to leave. You see that like there are other caterers there too who are just like watching this, but they didn't get involved.
Okay.
And then Bryn's gone.
Alrighty. That's our
Does
scene.
say once every dancer has asked 2 questions of each of your dancing partners, the dance ends. So, I gotta decide what kind of game I want to do, unless somebody has a really sharp idea jumping in right off of that with.
I do have an idea, actually.
Okay, let's hear it. What are you thinking?
So I was thinking of meeting sword to sword.
That's a good one too.
I think it's
They're all
very good.
good.
I know.
This is an indeterminate amount of time later, and I think I want to meet with Bryn.
That's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna ask what we notice about each other, and anyone can ask for details about the location and circumstance. Let's see. So you, Bryn, how we decide together? How the 2 of us came to be standing alone, sword to sword? We're definitely in our mechs, I think.
So I feel like it's definitely in defense of some Bantraphyll noble their holdings. Maybe you try to like enforce your purchase or something. Like you just bought this land, like you bought another share because you got to reinvest your earnings, right? And for some reason, Bryn is protecting this noble.
Interesting. Okay. I think that so this is like we've given you notice, the repossession notice is on the door, your 2 weeks is up, and we're confiscating this property.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for some reason, like, this noble has this top of the line fighting robot, like, in your way.
Yeah,
Like,
and
that was not on the books.
yeah, let's discuss what we notice about each other and what have we heard. I think this is mostly going to be a moment to kind of describe our mechs and what we might know about each other's mechs, even if we don't know who the pilot is.
Mm-hmm. Since you're a landowner, you will know that you'll probably recognize this model of mech. You know that one house in particular has recently they were basically everyone another house tried to kill them off so that they could acquire their shares. And you know that a number of mechs went missing at that point. Yeah. So you don't know maybe who's piloting this thing.
It might not even be a member of that house. It could have been one of the ones that went missing.
Right, or maybe it could have went on the black market, you don't know.
Gotcha.
But these mechs, like, are brand new. They shouldn't make it out here to Bantrush.
Okay. Very interesting. The mech that approaches to field this repossession assignment is a little bit strange. It's a kind of a squid shape. It's got like 10 long tentacles instead of like arms like you might normally have in a mech, with like a central body pod, and then 2 other arms that are more articulated. It seems to kind of try to swim along the ground using these multiple tentacles as kind of legs. It moves very awkwardly, but I think we probably saw it fly in, like as it came down before it landed to approach. It seemed to be very gracefully gliding around in the air, but in order to get close enough to be effective, it had to land and take this very awkward posture. And it moves in to start like ripping this house apart as a repossession.
Can I propose something about the setting real quick that I just had an idea?
Yeah.
Because we're kind of like underwater for the most part, right? Instead of like having like these glass domes or whatever that I was envisioning, could they be kind of like almost semi-permeable membranes that you can actually fly in and out of, but keep the water out, kind of like energy fields?
That's pretty sweet. I love it.
That
Sure.
fits what I was thinking of looking at in my head too.
Cool.
I was kind of
'Cause
thinking about describing that actually when I was describing my mall earlier, but then I was like, oh, I don't know if we'd have that. But yes, let's
let's
totally
have
do
it. We all want it.
Awesome.
Exactly.
But I feel like this is like actually outside. Like there is land.
Oh,
too.
so this is like on the surface.
Yeah,
not down into Skyphos. Gotcha.
Right. This is up in the dive.
Yeah, Silver wants like the expensive land, not that cheap underwater shit that everybody can get.
Well, I mean, Silver is just implementing orders. She's not taking this personally. It's just her job. She works for the like Peak Zenith is buying this land, and Silver is just here to ensure that it's acquired.
Cool. Well, you can't see Bryn inside the mech. Like, there's no open windows in the eyes or anything. It looks like a giant suit of armor with like streaming blue ribbons coming off of its joints.
All right.
Maybe like a heraldry, but there's no design on it. All right.
Who is better with a sword? I feel like
I think Bryn's like very well trained, but not experienced.
Gotcha. I was gonna say, just based on the like mechanisms of the mech, I feel like Silver is going to be more awkward with a sword, just on general principle of the design of the mech. At least on land. If we were
on land, okay.
If we were underwater, then it would be a different story. But,
that makes sense.
I think on land,
I don't think they teach underwater combat on Earth. Or in space, for that matter.
Right, but if you're from
space is big.
But if you're from a water planet,
yeah. Okay.
So you get to open with a leading question.
Okay. All right, let's we lock swords and your mouth is near my ear. So I think as you go to reach your tentacle towards the house, Bryn's arm shoots out and grabs the tentacle and leans into your mech's body, and we roll across the ground, shaking everything, making it like a Category 6 earthquake. Your mouth is near my ear. What do you say?
Pursuant to Statute 18.3 hex, we are the legal landowners of this property and need you to evacuate the premises.
Punch you into the ground.
And I like out of the way. It may be awkward, but it's fairly mobile. I pull back some, and when you go to attack me again, I catch your wrist with my tentacle. My arm, I guess, actually. The tentacles, I'm walking on the arms. Squids are weird, y'all. So yeah. I catch your wrist with my arm and draw you, just pull the mech into this like mesh of limbs. So do you let your sword drop, or do you shove me away and fight on?
Yeah, Bryn's mech shoves away the tentacle beast and stands up, like making this fighting pose between you and the rest of the buildings. Definitely has a reason to fight. Yeah, Bryn's mech points their hands in the direction of the squid mech, and lasers come out of the palms of the hands. You flip out of the way any slower, and you have lost a few of your robot tentacles. Does it exhilarate you or chill you?
Mm. I think it chills her. I think she was not. Silver was not coming out here looking for a fight. She was coming out here to knock down a few buildings and put some check marks on a few forms. Um, so, as the squid rolls out of the way and surges back to its multiple tentacled feet, um, we get a cut of Silver inside of the cockpit. Just single bead of sweat forming on her forehead. And let's see here.
While you're thinking, we see Bryn standing on like the balcony of one of those buildings, holding a silver amulet and just watching the mechs fight in the distance.
Oh yeah, yeah. Um, as I've come to my feet again, and feet loosely, um, I launch a sustained attack with my weight behind it, just like the entirety of the mech launches up, and the torpedo shape of the main body of the squid just flies straight for you. Um, do you give up ground readily or grudgingly as it hits you with force and then continues to just like elbows in push forward with the tentacles? And we cut again to Silver on the inside, kind of sweating, leaning forward, being like looking at like a timer countdown that like we can clearly see indicates like when this was supposed to be finished by. And it's getting closer, and she kind of looks to it. It grits her teeth with frustration.
Yeah, Bryn's mech is heavy and slow. It's a tank. It's not agile or particularly maneuverable. So the rushing attack just makes it move slowly backwards. It does give ground, but it's not like sliding across the terrain or nimbly getting out of the way. It's taking it. I think you see like marks on the mech, but you're not really penetrating this armor.
Mm-hmm.
But you seem to hit something important, and the mech stumbles for a second, takes a step back, and gets down on one knee. But it's all faint. Do I draw you out, or do you recognize deploy and hold steady?
I think it looks like she's recognized the ploy and held steady, but actually, she's just trying to get her bearings again. There's like these little blinky lights going off or some kind of alarm, and she's trying desperately to like recalibrate something, and starts to just kind of pull back a little bit after not attacking you. And then you launch a counterattack, cutting like straight between two of the tentacles, and one of them falls off. She's down to 9. Do you press the attack, or do you give her a moment?
I think Bryn gives her a moment. The mech just takes this opportunity to get on his feet and get stable. You see a little glimmer and these little flat robots start climbing over the body of their mech and uses like little welding torches starting to like repair parts of it.
Yeah, I think with that look, like seeing the self-repairing mech, I think that's when Silver realizes that she is out of her league. So she's gonna pick up her tentacle and flee the scene. Boost up into the air and start flying away. Which I think is going to end the duel. If you would like to pursue, you can start a chase.
No, I don't think they'll pursue. I was just seeing if I had any other option. Okay, yeah. Bryn doesn't pursue. Their duty is fulfilled.
All
right. This is my turn.
Feel free.
Okay. I have a problem because Bryn is not really... Okay, I know what's going on. Who are the rebels enemies of? Everyone?
Yes. Literally everyone, except other rebels. But yeah, they're basically enemies. And the...
Okay.
But remember, the motto of Firbrands is to fall in love with your enemies and hate your friends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, we can
I'm hitting on everybody here.
It's powerful.
It's a power play.
All right. There's definitely going to be a chase between me and this rebel.
Okay.
Bryn has been called upon to wipe out this rebel scum.
Oh. So I'm guessing... So then that begs the question, who is the quarry and who is the hunter?
I mean, it's never what you think it is.
I mean, that's why I'm asking. like, did you try and fail and now we're trying to hunt you down to wipe you out as a threat, or what's going
on? I feel like the rebellion of this planet is pretty well knows what they're doing and well supplied, so I'm probably the query.
Okay, then yeah, this is definitely you going in. Maybe felt really confident after dealing with Silver and her mech. And you're like, I got this.
Yeah,
and then you don't.
I got this. I don't got this. I don't got this.
What do we notice about each other? What have we heard? Also, are we in our mechs?
I think we are in our mechs because Bryn doesn't want to reveal herself.
That's cool.
And so she wouldn't be, yeah, she wouldn't be like personally, because that would totally ruin the disguise. I think you've definitely heard about the fight with Silver. So you know that this mech seems to be working for the nobles.
Okay.
I think also you know that there's been a cover-up, a conspiracy. Somebody landed on Bantrush, and it's been covered up by the nobility, and you don't know why. But it seems to match up with them now having access to these badass combat mech.
Okay. Let's see. Well, I think you notice, aside from commanding a sizable rebel army, let's just say, it's a fleet of battle mechs that look really badass. You notice that the 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 one that seems to be chasing you the hardest, the one that seems to be commanding the others, is a silver and black dragon mech. It stands on 4 legs,
Nice.
and it has little wings that have rockets on them, so that's how it flies. Like the rockets fire, and kind of makes it look like it has wings of fire when it's in the air because of the jets. Um, but it runs on 4 legs. Like, it's very bestial, but at the same time very majestic. As far as what you
It's like a train.
yeah, kind
It's a
of.
dragon-shaped train.
As far as what have you heard,
Nice.
I don't think you've heard much. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have lost. I think you well, you probably wouldn't have been here. You wouldn't
Yeah.
come in like this if you had heard anything. Maybe you've heard like people vaguely talking about this dragon that's been like stealing land and supplies, and you're just like, that's dumb. But no, here's the dragon.
Oh, nice. I got a giant night mecha. Those are basically made to kill dragon mecha,
I know,
right?
but yet you are
Oh
being
man, something went wrong.
all right.
I didn't expect a horde of orcs to be with a dragon. No. Never expect a goblin army.
All right, so the quarry
Alright.
conducts the chase. Where are you trying to get to?
I am trying to get to. There is, let's say, there's a warp gate in the ocean,
Okay, sure.
and if I can get there, then I can teleport my mech basically anywhere, and it would be like really hard to follow me after that.
Yeah, because we'd have to like figure out what warp signature you used and all that. Yeah, sure.
Right.
Okay.
I have a question. Can
Yeah.
the warp gates in the ocean go only to water, or what I want more, which is sometimes there's warp gates in the air which have water pour out of them?
Oh, there's
That's
totally
cool.
warp gates in the air.
Yeah.
There's probably like an inland sea somewhere that's just maintained by a hovering warp gate.
Sure,
We
yeah.
live on a fountain world, and I love it.
Yep. All right. I must lead the hunter through a series of 4 challenges and missions. Choose freely, except the third one must be an end mission. During the chase, you and the hunter gain coins representing the distance you're able to gain on the other. Describe with your partner. Okay. There we go.
I very quickly made some coins that we can give each other.
Okay. Yes, coins. Okay. I'll do an admission. I don't know this ground well. And turning, I hesitate. I think that Bryn has been running along this canyon and thinks that the canyon will lead to the sea, but it actually leads to a dead end. So I'll hesitate, and I gotta throw a coin.
I think do you throw?
Or you throw a coin? Who throws the coin?
I don't know. I think you tell me to throw.
We both throw coins, right? No, I just tell you the 4 challenges.
You tell her to throw.
That's what I thought.
I tell you to throw.
You issue the challenges,
and then you
I
collect
throw,
coins.
and then it's whether or not I pass or
Right.
fail. Okay, so
Yeah.
random side. I got heads.
All right, so you gain 2 coins.
Yeah, I rush to overtake you. I'm gonna put them over top over here.
Okay.
Or if you have a place to put them, Kelsa, feel free. Yeah. Perfect.
All right. So Bryn climbs up the side of the chasm and makes it to clear ground. From here, we're high up. She can see the ocean and makes a run for it. Follow me if you can roll yourself, but throw.
Okay.
Tails, you sound gasping, and I gain a coin.
Tails, you gain a coin.
Nice.
I think what happens is that as I try to leap away, one of my jets fails. And so I'm not able to, like, rather than doing a graceful leap, instead I spin and turn sideways, and then I get it to fire, and then I am able to pick up the chase again, but I've lost some ground to you.
Cool.
That needs to go over here, I think.
I'm trying to, like, I get one. So you're over there, and I'm over there.
Yeah, you're right here.
Okay. Cool. Third one has to be admission. All right. So yeah, Brent's mech turns to see the distance that they have. But like I said, their mech is not very mobile, and sees you, at the foot of the cliff, and confidently turns back. Like explosions are going on behind. Gotta look cool and just get out of there. But this could be overconfidence. Throw. If you succeed, you can tackle me from behind.
I succeed.
Oh shit.
I'm just gonna make my little coin pile here.
All right.
I don't think there's any way you're getting out of this, but let's do the final bit of it.
No, I'm super screwed. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to, I can use any of these. So Bryn gets up and shakes off your dragon train mech, and it's like this constant like running, and then the dragon charging at the night mech and knocking it over, and this happens like repeatedly. You see like smoke's trying to come out, and eventually there's this cliff, and Bryn manages to just get over the cliff and splash into the water. You look down and you see that this water is just full of stalagmites, like spiders of rock coming out of the water. It's a gamble whether or not you can land in open water or gut your mech trying to follow this last time. Go ahead and throw if you dare.
What happens on a failure? since I don't know which.
On a fail, you
Yeah.
barely catch yourself, and the chase ends now with you at my mercy.
Okay.
I mean, you
How
don't need to
desperate?
follow when this chase.
Yeah, I was about to say, how desperately do I want to catch you? Because I got those 4 coins, but they're not going to mean anything if I can't follow you. And if I end up at your mercy, that's not what I want.
No.
I think I let you go. Like we see this silver mech rear up almost like a horse at the end of this cliff. And we can see like almost like a red scanning light come out of like the faceplate of the mech, like registering all those stalactites. We see a grid pattern kind of go over them as it's scanning the stalactites, and it's not worth the risk. And so I just stand there and I watch you flee.
All right, cool. So I guess that's the end of the thing, but I didn't win the chase, right? So
No,
you
that's
still
the
win.
no, because the chase is no longer a thing because I let you go. So the end of it's no longer
Oh,
relevant.
okay. Weird. All right. Game logic.
The chase ends and neither of you win.
Yeah, basically. Like
Yeah,
neither
okay.
one is at the other's mercy. It's just over because I let you go, but I didn't catch you. But you also did not. Like I feel like maybe I get a sense of where you were going or something, so maybe I can follow up on
What
a lead.
happens is that you detect a warp signature, but you
Yeah.
know that was nowhere near the warp gate. So
Yeah.
somehow I have independent abilities to warp things.
Warp signature detected. All right,
Unknown warp signature.
Lavender, it's your game.
Wild. Speaking of you reminding me to do a game, I really have wanted to do an animated disagreement, and I finally found out why.
Yay!
Yeah.
As you've been exposing Silver as a character, I know that they're very business minded, and I was talking in my solitaire scene about the Bantrash finding ways to limit the supply of underwater mined Bantraphyll. I want to have an animated disagreement with you about this because my position is just going to be it's for the environment. Look at what happened on the surface world in many locations, and I am going full environmentalist, even though that's not my real intentions at all.
Okay, and where are we? Like, where are we?
Ooh, that's an excellent question. Oh, I thought I mentioned this when we were talking about this game beforehand, and mentioning how the Bantrash are different in Skyphos Dive. I think we're in one of the municipal estates on the surface world where the Bantrash lost some of their estates like years back. So now just anybody can walk in. Like you can walk your dog here. It's like a historical park, basically.
Sure.
And here we can hold a debate, and there are lots of places for people to just sit down and watch and that sort of thing.
Interesting. So, is it like a common thing for people to do debates here, like publicly?
If you're in the area, yeah.
Okay. And is this like a spontaneous thing, or did you like invite me, or did you like invite Peak Zenith?
Did you challenge Peak Zenith to a rap battle?
Not a rap battle, but I challenged Peak Zenith to Basically, I've heard that Peak Zenith are not happy about our recent move. So I invited someone over social media to show me their side of the argument.
Silver's ring beeps and her little projector comes up, and it looks like kind of like a clipboard, but it's being projected out of her ring. She holds up her hand, and it's like an email notification that says with like a link to the social media call out, and it's like, take care of this. And so she will arrive at the appointed time and place. What do we notice about each other? What have you heard?
You know that I think I just sort of said that with like the social media post.
Okay.
You've heard about the social media post, and maybe you've been through the rest of my posts as well, and you've seen you see that I have a thinly veiled squad of soldiers that I'm doing practice with.
Like when we arrive? Like you're going through like some kata or what?
No, just like on social media, I posted like a video of...
Okay.
Yeah.
On social media. Got it.
Yep.
That makes way more sense.
We're going through drills, and we're basically just doing drill down or whatever that thing is, where it's like hardcore routines of doing like marching and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Okay.
What have I heard about you?
You've heard that she's only recently arrived on planet. That the last representatives of Peak Zenith have all left. I think there was a little bit of a scandal about that, actually. That like an entire office full of Peak Zenith employees embezzled some money and got off the planet.
Wow.
Yeah, like and then Silver arrived, and I think in your position there's that you may have heard these rumors that she'd actually already been on the way, because Peak Zenith suspected the embezzlement, as an auditor. When she arrived, she was the only Peak Zenith employee of her pay grade, and is suddenly in charge.
Okay, cool. So you're a really good person to argue with, because you weren't involved in the embezzlement at all. And
no, I wasn't. I was not involved in the embezzlement, but
which means I sort of respect you.
Okay.
At least a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. What are our positions?
My position, as I was kind of already talking about, is we need to not repeat the mistakes that we've done on the surface cities, where Bantraphyll has been harvested from the forests too unsustainably. So now, just because we have a new discovery and an innovation doesn't mean we should abuse that innovation.
All right. I think my position is that we've learned our lessons, and we should be able to triple the export value of Bantraphyll while maintaining sustainability. And to do any less than that is irresponsible to the entire galaxy because of how valuable the Bantraphyll is.
I like it.
So
Sash
golden.
does not like it.
Fellow audience member. As far as conducting the discussion, since there's only 2 of us and there's 3 challenges, do you want to both of us each
Oh,
take
that's right.
and then we can agree on the
Shit.
final one together? So that way we kind of have equal.
Yeah,
whatever.
okay, that sounds good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we take turns. Oh, okay. I think the way this this manifests in the setting is that Bryn and Ray are in the chat room.
Yeah, because it's totally being broadcast.
Of course it is. Your
It's like
Twitch
being live
chat. Oh
streamed.
no.
Yeah.
You're getting shit talk and Twitch chat is a
Oof.
whole thing.
All right.
And Bryn's got like some real obvious handle, like Blue Knight, or no, it's White Knight. And what's your handle?
Probably
Ray?
just like a string of numbers.
It's a string of numbers.
Yeah.
Nice.
8675309.
Yeah. My challenge is.
I just like the idea that these challenges are mostly just like Twitch chat trolling you guys, and like you have like a live feed of
They
it.
are really.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Twitch Sings, where you there's this game that's like a singing game, like Rock Band or whatever.
Yeah.
And then in the middle, the audience votes on challenges for you. But all of the challenges are just things that are on this real life list.
Yeah.
Alright. So, like, please express your position in the form of a meme that people can rally behind and post everywhere.
Perfect.
Brilliant.
Do you care who goes first?
No. Meme it up.
Okay, let's hear those memes.
So the meme is, so the Peak Zenith logo, is like a mountain peak, behind the PZ, and so the meme is turning that logo upside down and making it blue, and changing the normal logo for Peak Zenith is when the top is not enough, and it's been changed, so the meme now says when the bottom is now the top.
So you roboted
that's
the
got
bottom
a
is
lot
what
of
the top?
shareability.
When the bottom is now the top.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I like the double entendre there.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, come on, Adam. You're a master in memes.
Yeah. Okay. It's okay, so it's a 2-tier meme, but both the pictures are Sash in different positions. So it's sort of like a Drake meme where it's yes to this, no to that. And it's like okay. I have the top one, but I don't have the bottom one. Yeah, no, I can't, because we're on a stream. I can't like formulate this quickly enough.
Tell us
so
the
I'm
first
just-
half of the meme.
The first half of the meme is like calling corporations out and like yes to that, and Oh no, I actually do have it, so I don't concede.
Yes.
The bottom one is corporations getting offended, and then like it, yeah, it's my main.
Both are solid memes. I see this as a meme expert and not someone who doesn't really understand memes, so don't worry about that.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for like visual presentation though, so I have to go with Silver's meme.
I would go with Silver's meme too.
You don't get a vote.
It was a good meme. All right, Silver, you get a coin, and now, emboldened by chat's support of your memery, please make a personal attack on your counterpart, followed by then of course Sash rebutting with her own personal attack.
I can't believe that you used your own face in your memery. That's pretty, like, self-absorbed, don't you think? I thought you'd be a better memer than that.
And then I just turn to the camera and I point at Silver and I go, get sent up. I do like a live meme where it's not pictures of me at all, where I'm like, get sent to clean up Peak Zenith's mess. Doesn't know a clean meme when she sees it.
I feel like the next game would be like definitely sword to sword after this.
Yes.
Okay.
You can't insult other people's memes. It's just.
But still,
You,
Sash,
if
take a
someone
coin.
does that, then you kill them.
Sash, take that coin.
Alright,
There
we
we
each have one coin.
All right, Golden, what are we feeling?
All right. I mean, considering that we probably have this in common and we're the chat, probably we have to go with like the neglected interest of the underprivileged.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I was either that one or I always like making them concede that the other person's position has merit after making them insult each other. That's my favorite.
Like, yeah.
But yeah, I like the underprivileged one. Yep.
Yeah, so Bryn and Numbers are chatting and they're talking about, but how does this affect everyday Lord underprivileged? Do you want to pick who goes first?
I don't have a strong preference. What about you?
It could go first since I got the coin from the last one.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm going to say that, or Sash is going to say, if we're talking about the citizens of Bantraphyll, or of Bantral, what this will do is, if we're just talking about the market value, it will raise the rate at which Bantraphyll is sold. And for our planet, this tide will rise all ships.
Well, I think that you and I agree on one thing, and that is the more Bantraphyll that is produced and shipped off world, the more people here are going to benefit. But you're not thinking of all of the other underprivileged people who are off planet. This is going to make interstellar travel much more accessible, both to everyone here on Bantraphyll and all around the universe. We have a duty as citizens of the stars to produce as much Bantraphyll as we can. There's no reason for us to hold back. We can do this sustainably, and doing any less than the most isn't enough.
I think I'll give it to. Sorry, your character's name is.
Sash?
Oh, it's
Or
Sash.
Silver.
You're talking about
Sash. Adam, right? I would give it to Sash because
You should change your name
I'm
in
talking
Roll
about-
20.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about I was talking about the people on Bantraphyll that would benefit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care about the rest of the people.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, even though the challenge doesn't specify that they have to be people of Bantraphyll, I feel like the people of Bantraphyll are more concerned with the people of Bantraphyll, and they're not really that concerned about everybody else who's coming to mess up their stuff. So yeah, I also agree. Give it to Sash.
I totally understand, but
Yeah.
I don't think it was a bad argument. I just think it was
I-
a bad argument for this climate, this
I-
political
Oh
climate.
yeah,
yes, it was a bad it was a bad argument for this crowd, but reading a room is not one of Silver's strong suits.
yeah. Twitch chat just starts writing. There's like the worst memes start being posted.
They're still on about the memes.
And there's also probably like
There've been
Bantraphyll for
variation.
Bantraphyll only like is getting spammed in there.
Oh yeah. And they took someone has already taken screen caps of Sash doing the live meme
Yeah,
and has started to repurpose that already.
yeah, it's everywhere.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, mhm. It's been 5 minutes and it's everywhere.
Yes.
Mhm. It's already
Someone reprinted it on like a flag.
yeah. It's already a second tier meme, and by tomorrow it'll be a third tier meme.
But the day after that, it will be an old meme.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's how
Yeah,
memes
but
work.
then it'll be on TV, and
Which
you
I
know,
know it's old.
that's the worst.
That's how you know.
That's how
It'll
you
be
know.
made into a like it'll be in a movie reference in there, and you're just like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The worst part is they
It's a
get
very quick life cycle.
they pay Sash to play herself for that. So that was a good session, everyone.
Mhm.
What do we want to see more of next time? Next time on Skyphos Dive. God, why do I say drive? Don't listen to me. I'm just the host.
I want to see more messy social entanglements, and
Yeah.
I want to
Well,
see
here's
more
the secrets if you guys don't learn them.
Yeah, I want more
Mhm,
secrets.
mhm, mhm.
I want more intrigue. I want more drama. I know we're building up to it, but this is my jam. That's what I like to see.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is this the part where we ask a question about what we want to see next time, or is this kind of what we want to
Yes.
see more of? Okay.
Both.
Okay, cool. I'm going to do this in the old format, and I'm going to ask a question. I
Yeah.
want to know... I want to know who joins Silver, because she's sort of all alone to take care of Zenith's mess. And I want to see who else comes from off the world to come to her aid.
Nice.
I forgot about the old format.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Rephrase it in the form of a question.
I want to see if it's Sash's house that is protecting Bryn.
I like that you don't know the answer to that. I want to see more of Bryn's motives. Why she's here. Not even who she's working for necessarily, but why she personally is here. Throw me some tragic backstory.
Oh, the tragic backstory is lined up around the block. You don't gotta worry about that. The only question is who will make it more tragic. And I have a few traps ready.
Oh my. Awesome. Asani, did you wanna ask a question in the former style?
Not today.
Okay.
I think I've put myself out there with what I want to see.
That's good.
I think I want to know more about your characters first before I have a really good question.
Cool. Awesome. Well, let's do some shout outs. Stany, why don't you start? Since not only were you just talking, but also you've made this amazing art. Thank you so much.
It came together really quickly, which was really surprising. Hi, I am Stany. When I'm not being a slightly smarmy rock star here on Love&Bantraphyll Skyphos Drive, I am streaming on my own channel, and I also do art and graphic design stuff. So yeah, these lovely overlays and character portraits.
All of
and
that.
Also, Kelsa's new logo for Queer Tales, which I'm excited to hear
Yes.
more about that, and excited to be a part of it. I do have, like I said, I have my own Twitch page. I've got a Patreon as well, and I take commissions. Basically, all those places /Astany, you'll find me. It's fine.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. And going around counterclockwise, Golden.
Hey, I'm Golden. When I'm not pretending to be a poor, abandoned orphan girl, you can find me on twitch.tv/GoldenWH, but only on Sundays because I am burdened. I'm burdened with overtime and responsibility and all that jazz. But on Sundays, I just solve all my problems by shooting them, and that's what we should all aspire to.
Indeed. All right, Lavender, how about you? Where can people find you, and what do you do?
Hey, I'm Lavender. I have a Twitter called Dark Lavender Void, which is where you can find me on most places. Right now, behind the scenes, I'm working on a game called Consumed, which is about being consumed as a reality TV show by Eldritch Horrors. That game's pretty great. I am really excited for that game to be done. As much as I love working on it, I would like to play it, turns out. Aside from that, another thing that you can probably expect to see on the social medias, like maybe either like when we're promoting either the next show or the one after that or the one after that, I am doing 3D models of our mechs, and I am learning that some things are not as big of a problem as I thought they were, and turns out when you have 5 edges meeting at one vertex, the computer can handle it just fine, and you don't need to flip out. Adam.
It's good.
You don't need to flip out about that. It's good. But I didn't know that because I just started doing 3D modeling like a month ago. So you live and you learn.
What about 6? Do you think it handles 6?
Probably. All I know is that it doesn't like triangles well. And if you go...
That explains your tweet. Okay.
Yes. It doesn't like triangles, and it doesn't like what are called ingons, which are like hexagons, pentagons, octagons, icosa, whatever, 20.
Wait, so it doesn't like two-dimensional objects?
Except for squares.
I'm pretty sure. Okay, because the 4 is an 4 engon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then you can go.
But only squares.
Because then it can make a loop around the entire shape. and then it's like, oh, I can make this all fancy. I know how to work with this. Otherwise, it's just like, here's a football, and then it dies.
That's interesting.
This was supposed to be a cylinder.
I'm
Football.
I'm very excited for how this is going to turn out. So
Same.
I want to see it.
Just make sure that you don't get the sides mixed up, because sometimes if you join the faces of a polygon the wrong way, then Cthulhu gets summoned. And
It's
it's
true.
bad.
It gets confused. Kelsa, what do you do?
Thank you. I listen to small dogs barking in the background. I'm Kelsa. I tell queer tales. That is the branding from all of my shows moving forward. Telling role-playing game stories here on the internet. You may have guessed by this being a Mobile Frame Zero Firbrands story, and only having one male character, that this might get a little queer. Might get a little queer. Yeah. So I also play D&D on Tuesdays over at the Greyhawk channel, and on Thursdays I also play D&D over on Outro 1. Pretty excited for more Love and Bantraphyll in 2 weeks, and when I'm not here, you can find me on Twitter at Kelsa, and Twitch and YouTube it's Kelsa Delphi. So thank you all for coming out, and I'm gonna throw us over to the amazing blown up of the amazing art and the awesome song done by Drummer Boy. So goodbye, everybody.